I couldn't believe my eyes when I walked outside that morning. The spot where my old crop duster usually sat was completely empty. For a second, I thought maybe I was losing my mind. I rubbed my eyes, looked again, and nope, it was gone. Vanished. The only thing left behind was a little patch of flattened grass and some tire marks leading toward the street. My stomach twisted into a knot. I knew exactly who was behind this. The HOA. I had lived in this neighborhood for years, way before the HOA got involved and started making up ridiculous rules. It was a quiet place, mostly surrounded by farmland, and I had permission from the previous owners to keep my plane on my property. It wasn't like I was flying it over the houses every morning waking people up. It just sat there, minding its own business. But once the HOA took over, everything changed. Suddenly, they had problems with unsightly vehicles, potential safety hazards, and whatever other excuse they could come up with to make my life harder. I had gotten warning letters before, sure, but I never expected them to actually tow my plane. Who even tows a plane? I stormed over to the HOA president's house, Karen. Now, if you've ever dealt with a Karen before, you already know what happened next. She opened her door with a smug little smile, arms crossed, leaning against the frame like she had been expecting me. "Oh, good morning, neighbor," she said, stretching the word neighbor like it was some kind of joke. "Something wrong?" "You know exactly what's wrong," I snapped. "Where's my plane?" She tilted her head like she was thinking really hard, then gasped dramatically. "Oh, that big hunk of junk?" Yeah, it was violating multiple HOA regulations, so we had it towed. I could feel my blood boiling. "You towed a plane?" "Yes, and you can pick it up from the impound lot," she said, still grinning. "Oh, and there are some fines attached." Quite a few, actually. That was it. That was the moment I decided I wasn't just going to get my plane back. I was going to make a statement. Now, here's where things get interesting. That weekend, the HOA was hosting their annual neighborhood picnic. It was their biggest event of the year. Rows of long tables set up right in the middle of the street, fancy little centerpieces. People in their best summer outfits, sipping lemonade and pretending they all liked each other. And guess who was running the show? Karen. I got my plane out of impound, paid the ridiculous fines which I would never let them forget, and started planning. I knew exactly what I had to do. On the day of the picnic, everything was going smoothly, for them at least. The food was served. People were laughing, and Karen was making the rounds, acting like she was the queen of the neighborhood. But then, just as everyone was settling in, a low, familiar hum filled the air. People looked up. Some pointed. And then they saw me. I flew my crop duster low, real low, right over the picnic, engine roaring as I made my grand entrance. You'd think I was some kind of villain from a movie. The way people started gasping and grabbing their napkins like that would somehow protect them. But I wasn't done yet. See, before I took off, I had prepared something special. A big old barrel of muddy water, freshly scooped from the nearby creek. It wasn't anything nasty, just a whole lot of dirt and water mixed up into a perfect, soggy mess. And it was about to make its grand debut. As I circled back around, I tipped that barrel over at just the right moment. Splash! Right on Karen's perfect white summer dress. For a split second, there was nothing but silence. Then came the screaming. She stumbled backward, arms flailing, slipping in the mud that was now covering her from head to toe. Her fancy little picnic was in chaos, people running, plates flying, kids laughing. It was beautiful. I didn't stick around long. I didn't need to. I had made my point. By the time I landed and parked my plane safely on my property, I already had a dozen missed calls and a few angry messages. But you know what? The HOA never messed with my plane again. And Karen? Well, let's just say she wasn't quite as eager to enforce rules after that.